Hello again. Before anything else, I'd like to thank the person who donated £200 to this channel the other day. It was very much appreciated. And the reason that I haven't thanked you before is that I've been racing back and forth between three different parts of the country for various purposes. And so sometimes I have missed things in the comments like that. The British government is planning to introduce an official definition of Islamophobia, one which equates criticism of Islam with racism. The Labour Party adopted such a definition a while ago, one devised by the All-Party Parliamentary Group on British Muslims. This is as follows. Islamophobia is rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. That definition, of course, clashes with equality law as it stands in this country, because this deals with ethnicity, skin colour and nationality, not religion. There is no protection for Christians, of course, and being Muslim is absolutely not associated with any ethnicity at all. Like Christianity, anybody can become a Muslim. Some are white, others Arab, some black, some of South Asian heritage, and many are Chinese. The idea of connecting racism to dislike of or contempt for Islam is very odd. Even odder and more alarming is the background to coming up with that definition. In the description to this video, I give a link to the report of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on British Muslims, which came up with that definition, which the Labour Party has adopted, and we see at once some very serious problems. You see, it's a very short definition, and it's backed up with various examples of given behaviour which can be perceived as Islamophobic using the definition. We immediately find that there is mention of grooming gangs. For instance, on page 35 of that report, we read the following. The recourse to the notion of free speech and the supposed right to criticise Islam results in nothing more than another subtle form of anti-Muslim racism, whereby the criticism humiliates, marginalises and stigmatises Muslims. One real-life example of this concerns the issue of grooming gangs. So, do we understand that talking about those grooming gangs is Islamophobic? So it would seem, because even mentioning that Muhammad was a paedophile is, and I quote, aimed at and can achieve harm to individual Muslims and is not rooted in any meaningful theological debate, but rather in a racist attempt to other Muslims in general, associating them with the crime our society sees as most abhorrent of all. Well, I'm not at all sure how a Muslim would be harmed if somebody said that Muhammad was a paedophile, any more than a Christian would be harmed if somebody said something about the founder of Christianity. Offended or even upset perhaps, but not actually harmed. So, as a result, we should not mention this fact about Muhammad, and also we must avoid talking about grooming gangs. Can anybody see a problem here? And why should criticism of any religious figure have to be rooted in meaningful theological debate? St. Paul had a very odd way of talking about women, which has caused a lot of people to conclude that he hated them. There's nothing racist about such a suggestion, and nor does it have to be rooted in meaningful theological debate. Some people dislike St. Paul's contribution to the development of Christianity and think he had a hang-up about sex. People say such things freely, although they can be pretty offensive to, Catholics, for example. That's free speech. Saying similar things about Muhammad, though, are racist and should not be permitted because they actually cause harm to Muslims. Well, can anybody see why we should be alarmed yet?